Culture Gaps. Culture Gaps. Culture Gaps. Culture Gaps. Culture Gaps.
Welcome to Culture Gaps, the podcast where we talk about famous movies that one or both of us has not seen. My name is Gregg.
And I'm your boy Mike.
And today we are talking about a very famous movie that a lot of people really love.
Yes.
And it's called The Goonies.
Goonies!
So
Wow.
I've seen this movie actually
many times?
a lot of times.
Like 7?
Probably less than that, but close to that number probably.
Like 6?
Yeah, 6. And
Because it's 6. Jeez.
but you, Michael, you have not seen The Goonies.
No, I haven't, Greg.
What do people usually think about that?
They look down on me for that.
Yeah.
They say, you haven't seen Goonies? I
mean,
hinted this in the last
they're all-
episode. I told you.
Yeah, they're all looking down on you anyway. But
People are looking down on me, man.
yeah,
People, let me tell you something. People are very prejudiced against people like me. who
short
haven't seen the
people.
Goonies.
Oh,
Sure. No. People who haven't seen certain movies.
yeah, it's true. People get real mad when they find out you haven't seen The Goonies.
And they single you out.
Yeah, do they?
Like it's not okay to be someone who hasn't seen that movie.
I mean, I did single you out right at the start of this episode by saying you haven't seen this movie.
Exactly. And this is what I'm talking about.
I'm shaming you now for it publicly.
All right, shame away. You want to know why I haven't seen this movie, Greg?
Yeah, tell me why you haven't seen it.
I'll be honest, I don't know.
Yeah, it kind of seems like I think you would have loved this movie as a kid.
Yeah, I think
For
I'd
sure.
like this movie now.
You might.
It seems
Yeah.
like a movie I would like based on what I've seen of it. And here's the thing,
Yeah.
I've had plenty of opportunities to watch this movie because this is a movie, it's one of those cult classics that would play at the movie theater at midnight. And we've done it many times.
Yeah, so
and I've
you
just
probably
never seen it.
You probably personally screened it and then walked away from the projector.
Yeah, probably. It's just one of those movies that you kind of just pass up because it's so big that you think you know
Right.
what it is,
Well,
I guess.
so
But
then what do you know about
I
this
know
movie?
short rounds in it.
You know about that? You know our boy Ki Kwan is in this movie?
Yeah.
Wayman?
My Wayman.
Yeah.
Ki
Your
Kwan.
Wayman. Yeah, Ki Kwan, amazing, awesome dude. He is
Yeah.
in this movie.
He is. And I know there's a group of kids of different, they're young,
Yeah.
of different shapes and sizes.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
I know there's some chubby ogre-looking kid with looks like a pirate of some sort.
Okay.
I feel like someone's name is Chunk. Mm-hmm. I think there's treasure. I think they're finding treasure in this movie.
Yeah. These are all great theories.
I want to get it confused with Stand By Me or something where they find a dead body.
Yeah.
But
I still get this mixed up with Stand By Me, I'll be honest.
so the kids are playing baseball. They hit their ball over the fence. They
Yep.
look through the fence and notice a giant
Yes.
dead body.
And yeah. Yep. And then a little creepy alien comes out and says, he starts eating Reese's Pieces.
Yep. And then they have to make everything right by winning a boxcar derby downhill boxcar derby.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they actually remade this as Stranger Things.
Oh man. So I think it's safe to say I don't know much. It's one of those movies I feel like I knew just based on seeing the cover and like screenshots, but I have
Right.
no idea. In all honesty.
Yeah. I will say, what you described is like most of what I remember from this movie.
Kids go on a treasure hunt. There's a pirate ogre kid and short rounds in it.
Yeah, I mean, so,
Right
yeah,
there.
I think some of the specifics you'll be surprised by, but I will say, so from my perspective, it's been a long time since I've seen this movie, like over a decade. And a lot of the discourse I've seen online around it seems to be that people don't love it as much anymore.
Really?
So I'll be curious to see if it holds up for me or not.
Wow.
Yeah.
Surely Gen Xers still love it.
Oh, for Gen Xers can't get enough. Gen Xers are just fueled by like nostalgia and being
Star Wars.
forgotten.
Being forgotten.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're just like filled with impotent rage about being passed over for everything for decades.
You think?
Yeah, my theory about Gen Xers and the reason why everyone just talks about boomers and millennials and everyone forgets about Gen X. My theory about that is that boomers just clung on for so long that they dominated everything until they just started dying off. And Gen Xers never got their shot, and now millennials are just taking it from them.
Interesting. Oh, man. I just assumed it was because their parents are... No, that's probably not a happy thing to talk about on the podcast. The boomers are our parents. So there's like a feud. You know, they're all like, we hate millennials. And then we're like, you raised us this way.
Right. And Gen Xers don't have a stake in the game. They're just like...
You mean parents.
Gen Xers are the... Gen Xers are the people just standing there watching millennials and boomers get concussions at the pool.
Yeah, well, the Gen X... Good throwback.
Yeah.
Gen Xers don't have to constantly see their parents and aunts and uncles comment on Facebook. That's a plus for them, and probably why they don't have to be in the war like we do.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, Gen X, there's some younger Gen Xers who definitely have to deal with that, but I think that's true.
Yeah, some younger Gen Xers whose parents are like arguing about Star Wars with them on Facebook. Okay.
No, younger Gen Xers have boomer parents.
Wow. I don't know. You ever ask a Gen Xer how old they are or like when something happened in their life? It's always in relation how many years away from a Star Wars release it was.
Yeah. They just love like Star Wars and like New Wave.
Yeah. Like buy some fucking Pokemon cards. Jesus.
So we've now alienated our entire Gen X listener base.
You know what, though? We still got the millennials.
Yeah, we got the millennials because they hate themselves too much to turn off a podcast.
Right.
They can't stand to be alone with their thoughts long enough, so they got to just listen to us.
Yeah, if you turn us off, you'll probably kill yourself. So keep listening, folks.
Yeah, if you turn us off, you'll have to think about like global warming and shit. So
yeah, you don't want that. Do you want to burn? Keep listening.
Yeah. All right.
So anyway, we're watching the Goonies.
The Goonies, yeah. Join us for this nostalgia fest as we rewatch the Goonies.
No, I'm watching it for the first time.
That's true. I'm curious to hear what you think about this movie.
I'm excited about this one. I've been waiting for you to cue this one up.
Yeah, it's definitely time. I was looking at the list and I was like, we got to do this. Like, it's such a big movie. People love it.
Yeah, I love me some child films.
Why'd you say it like that?
I just like when children are performing in movies.
Okay.
Like,
like in The Phantom Menace?
No. You know, like Warriors of Virtue.
Oh, right.
No, I like when there's kid actors. It gives it a certain charm.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's more forgiving than a Keanu Reeves movie.
Yeah. If a child had given the performance Keanu Reeves gave in Point Break, I would have been blown away.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, damn, that kid can act.
To be honest, that's what I said because he looked like a baby in that movie.
Yeah, he is a baby in that movie.
Anyway, we're watching Goonies.
Yeah. Let's go watch it.
Let's do it. I'm not going to say culture gaps.
Culture gaps.
Hey, you guys. We just watched The Goonies.
Oh, I watched it for the first time, Greg.
It's true. Yeah, you had never seen this movie before. What did you think?
Yeah. I am mind blown at the number of things that I didn't realize were from the Goonies or the people who were in the Goonies or who made the Goonies.
Oh, yeah.
I knew very little about this movie, apparently.
Interesting.
I knew what it was aesthetically and almost nothing else.
Wow.
But how did I feel about it? That's another question. I'm a little torn
Okay.
because on one hand, I think it might be a little dated and insensitive about a few things. And watching it now kind of hurts the movie a little bit on that. But at the same time, I know that if I watched this movie when I was a kid,
Yeah.
I'll be rating this thing a fucking 10 out of 10.
Yup.
Because I still really liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, I did
Yeah.
too. I will say I was pleasantly surprised with how well it holds up. I will
Yeah.
say watching it as an adult is an extremely different experience from watching it as a kid. This movie is pitched directly at children. And if you're an
absolutely.
adult, it's like it only hits
but-
like 70% of the time.
Yeah, young boys specifically, but
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But I kept thinking about that when I was watching the movie. Like, I was like, imagine if I saw this when I was a kid, I'd be obsessed. Like, everything that was happening in it. But a lot of it felt like Indiana Jones, but for kids to me.
Yeah, exactly. I wrote that same thing down. This movie has a really similar vibe. It's like caves and traps and skeletons and hidden treasures.
I wrote down this because you told me there was going to be boobies in this movie. And I wrote down in my notes, gratuitous booby traps.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
That's what you meant?
Yeah,
booby traps.
That and the truffle shuffle.
I tell you what, that was a booby trap, what you had said.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I set a booby trap for you.
So, yeah, I actually really liked it, and I didn't know so many things. So let's get into that.
Yeah.
First of all, I had no idea this had anything to do with Spielberg.
Yeah, he produced it. He
And wrote it.
the story. Yeah, Chris
story,
Chris Columbus wrote the screenplay, but yeah.
So that's one thing, mind blown. I didn't even know he had anything to do with it. It was very apparent in the movie.
Oh yeah, I mean, and it's exactly what people are always trying to recreate with like E.T. and this and Indiana Jones, just that sense of adventure.
I also didn't know who the fuck was in this movie besides my boy from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Key Kwan. Yeah, there's some big names. There are people who went on to be big names.
Josh Brolin is in this movie?
No, yeah,
With a bandana around his head? Older brother?
yeah, he's got the short shorts over his sweatpants.
Yeah, I mean, they were setting him up to look like the dumb jock, but he kept, like, correcting people's, like, grammar and words and stuff. So
Yeah.
it was interesting because they, like, made him smarter
Right.
for some of it.
Yeah, he's
but
sort of the quote unquote adult in the room.
The adult of them, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Sean Astin's in this as a child? Look not completely. He's still got the face in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But, like, looks so different that I would have never guessed.
Yeah, he's a little boy.
Oh my god! And then I guess this one didn't surprise me at all because it sounded right when I saw it come up in the screen. It's Corey Feldman.
Yeah.
I'm like, this sounds right.
Yep.
But I'm like, but isn't he in Stand By Me or something? So it's like,
Right. I think
then
he
I was
is.
getting him
Yeah.
confused. Like, how many movies with a bunch of boys is that guy in?
Oh, I
He's
mean,
also
a ton.
Lost Boys.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was like the thing in the 80s, you know.
Yeah, blew my mind. And then I forget her name. The girl with the glasses in it. Steph.
Mm.
She looked so familiar, and I couldn't place what she was from,
Yeah.
and I still can't. I didn't look it up.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't look her name.
She didn't look familiar to me.
Oh man,
But there's also another big name actor in here. Our boy Joe Pantoliano.
Joe What's he from?
Oh, just a million things like The Matrix. He's the guy eating the steak and betraying everybody.
Oh
Yeah.
my god,
Yeah.
I didn't recognize him.
Yeah, he's really young in this.
This just keeps on giving.
I know.
This is insane.
Yeah.
I've seen like screenshots and stuff of this movie. I recognize Chunk from the screenshots.
Yeah, you've probably seen the truffle shuffle and GIFs and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I didn't actually know was from this movie.
I thought you did. I thought you mentioned it in the intro of this episode.
Did I?
Yeah.
I don't know if I did. But there's so many things like that. I just didn't know were from this movie.
Yeah, it's a big one. I guess that's why people are always surprised when they find out you haven't seen it.
Yeah, and a movie starring a bunch of kids going on a magical adventure with pirate ships and just all this crazy shit happening with like Data's tech and stuff. And
Data's
the little
inventions.
club.
Yeah.
God, this movie would have blown my mind as a kid.
Oh, right? Yeah, that's really the thing about this movie and why I think people remember it so fondly and still come back to it as adults is just, it's something we've talked about sometimes in a negative way on the podcast, that people just have memories of these movies from childhood and it blinds them to things. But I think it can also be positive, like in this case where you watch a movie and you're just like, oh yeah, I totally get like why, watching this as a kid and having those warm feelings around it would make you just embrace this movie so much and hold on to it for, the rest of your adulthood.
Oh yeah, I get it. This checks a lot of boxes.
Yeah. I will say though, this movie is not without its negatives. And probably the biggest one in my opinion is just that these kids won't stop yelling.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I have a few notes in this movie, and that is one of them. I wrote they're trying to be like stealthy half the movie too, and try not to get caught. And I'm like, their stealth ability in this movie is abysmal.
Right.
They're just screaming at the top of their lungs constantly.
Yeah.
And that is a little grating, especially Chunk, I would say. Is just
Chunk is the absolute worst in this movie.
Oh, so bad.
Like some of the child actors are, Sean Astin is fine. Ki Kwan is pretty good in what he's doing. And like Corey Feldman, I really didn't think was great. But then Chunk is just like, everything is
bad.
just like at the top of his lungs, and there's
Everyone.
and I think the biggest issue for me with obviously child performances are always tricky and you really can't hold kids to the same standards as adults. But I think one of the biggest issues with this movie, which, could have been mitigated by directing, I think, but it's just that the kids, like every emotion that they play is 100%. It's cranked all the way up. Like there is no room for like if they're supposed to be afraid, they are screaming in fear. Like it's never just like a little bit of anxiety. It's always like 10 out of 10, go as big as you can.
I think this is another difference between adults and kids, right? Like watching it when I was a kid, I'd be like, yeah, I'm loud and scream like this and have a ton of sugar in me and have all this energy. Mm-hmm. I'd run around and just scream like that.
Yeah.
Sure. These kids make sense to me. As an adult, you're like, oh, shut the fuck up, kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Kids are the worst.
Yeah, kids suck, yeah. As the Mama Fratelli says, kids suck. I wrote that down because I was like, oh boy, is she right. But no, I actually remembered, like, before rewatching this, I remembered fondly the fact that the kids are always talking over each other. Because when I was a kid, I thought it was
Oh.
really fun and like interesting and funny and true to life that the kids are always sort of like talking over each other and yelling at each other, and someone's making a joke while nobody else is listening. And it just felt like real interactions I had as a kid. And I think it is, true to life. I got the impression that this is what those kids were like when they were just hanging out. Like, you get like 4 kids together of the same age, they're going to start screaming real quick.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it is true to life, but as an adult, it's just too
Annoying.
much. Yeah.
I was gonna say, with them screaming and stuff, this is almost like an episode of Always Sunny, but with all kids. It's like the gang.
Right.
The gang is kids.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
They're all talking over each other, screaming.
Right. But like, it's also the dialogue in this movie, I feel like sometimes is like weirdly true to life. Like, there's this scene where Sean Astin is retelling the story of One-Eyed Willie that he heard. And it literally is just like, it's like, and then he like went on a boat, and then there was like a battle, and then he like shot a bunch of cannons, and people were dying, and
You're that kid.
it's like I couldn't even pay attention to the story he was telling because
I know.
I just naturally turned it off. I was like,
I couldn't.
yeah.
He was like looking up. I didn't know if he was reading off of something or something else.
Yeah, I think, as you said, this movie definitely has Indiana Jones vibes. Part of the appeal for me with these types of movies is just like, as a kid, I almost felt like I was getting away with something watching these movies because they're really dark and kind of disturbing. Like, this movie basically opens with what appears to be a suicide.
Right? That was insane.
Yeah.
It was like someone hanging in a prison cell.
Yeah.
Like, this is a kid's movie?
I know. And then they say shit like 19 times in this movie. There's a scene, like extended scenes where kids are like handling a corpse with a bullet hole in its forehead. Like cockroach covered skeletons and dead bodies. And it's just like, I mean,
Wild.
Again, it's, crazy that this movie's rated PG because it was before the PG-13 rating. But, you would never see, like, this movie now coming out would just never be rated PG. There's no way.
Yeah, probably not.
Like, you remember when it was a big deal for South Park to say shit on TV in, like, 2001?
I don't.
Well, it was.
Explain to me why.
Because advertisers on television are kind of the ones who decide what is allowed to be on TV or not. And advertisers really didn't like certain extreme curse words to be said. And shit was one of them. But Comedy Central managed to strike a deal with their advertisers because the brand of South Park was already so filthy. Advertisers felt like it wouldn't really hurt them to, advertise on a show that has the word shit in it. So South Park got clearance to do it. And of course, what they did is they say it like 200 times in the episode. But it's like a whole thing where even the episode itself is referencing the fact that they're going to say shit on TV.
Is this the one where they had a counter?
Yes.
Counting the number?
Yep.
Okay. I remember that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Goonies is a lot like South Park.
Yeah.
Goonies always say shit.
Goonies do always say shit. Except for our boy Ki Kwan. Because he
He said a lot.
apparently he promised his mom he wouldn't swear in this movie. So there's a scene where he's about to like get crushed by a rock and he says, "Holy SHIT."
Yeah, he was adorable. He was my favorite.
Yeah, he's great.
Obviously.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know how anyone else would be anyone's favorite.
No, I mean, for sure. They're like, Mouth is obnoxious, Mikey is nothing, Chunk is obnoxious. Like,
I would have loved Mouth as a kid.
really?
Yeah, and I hate it.
Yeah, that might be true. I probably liked him as a kid too.
Yeah, I would have thought he was so cool,
The weird thing is,
especially with the languages.
yeah, you know what's funny? As a kid, I always assumed that he could not speak Spanish and was just like only knew certain phrases, and that he
No,
was.
he speaks
But
Spanish
yeah,
well.
no, he apparently speaks fluent Spanish and was just fucking with that housekeeper. Like as a kid, I interpreted it as he just didn't know what he was saying and it was coming out wrong.
Right. Yeah, I thought that's what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
He just doesn't know it at all.
No, he knows real
Nope,
well.
just fucking with her.
Also, bafflingly, when he's translating the Spanish on the map, and when he says it in English, it always rhymes and is in perfect meter. I'm like, what? Why would this rhyme in English?
They only encrypted it in Spanish. It's meant for English speaking people.
Yeah, exactly.
You think Willie is a Spanish person? One-eyed Willie?
Yeah, One-Eyed Willie. Yeah, that's
William is English.
right. I don't know. The map's all in Spanish though, but it's all in the New World. It's all in like Oregon, right?
Right. So I didn't catch where they were in the beginning of this movie. I also didn't understand what Goonies was referencing or what Goondocks was. So I had to look that up after.
Oh, is that
Which is interesting.
reference it? I thought it was just like a play on, like they just called themselves the Goonies, and then there was just a play on words to call it the Goondocks.
No, there was a place it's a area called the Goondocks in Oregon.
Oh.
And they're all from it, so they call each other the Goonies. It's the other way around, yeah.
Interesting. I thought they were like the Goonies. I thought that was like what people called them as like a pejorative term, like because there's even a point where Troy yells down the well like, "You Goonie!"
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's what they just call people from
Thought
the
it was like an
Goondocks.
insult.
I don't know.
know.
I tell you what, one thing really threw me off of this movie is it seemed like there was a lot cut from the movie, but they reference it several times throughout the movie, like different things. And I'm like, did that happen?
There was something at the end where Data mentions like an octopus, and I know they cut that from the movie.
There was no octopus scene.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I remember them referencing that's not in the movie, though.
So they had an octopus scene and they cut it.
Yeah. Yep. Apparently, that scene is intact was intact in most like TV airings of this movie, but they never released an extended version on video or anything. So there's no way to really watch it that way, but it used to air on TV with the deleted scenes.
All right. I thought either like I missed a part of the movie or that dude was crazy.
I at first thought it was like, oh, Data is just lying. It seems like the kids kind of all just enjoy making things up.
That's true. There's that time Chunk calls the police.
Yeah.
He's talking about all his pranks.
Yep.
And he references the Gremlins in it.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah, because that's another Spielberg production.
You got to
Easter egg.
plug your own movies.
Yeah.
So let me tell you what I did really like in this movie.
The group piss
First,
scene.
Is that a thing? Did I miss that?
What? Did you miss the scene where they all piss together?
I don't remember it.
Really?
Yeah. When does that happen?
Oh my god, they're in the caves before the Fratellis catch up to them. And Mikey is just like, I have to pee. Does anyone else? And then everyone raises their hands. So he's like, over here, this is the little boy's room. Over there is the little girl's room.
Oh, I do remember now.
And
then, because he goes into the
men's room.
And
then it cuts to a shot of all the boys in the men's room pissing together. And that's what
happens in the men's room, Greg.
I know. It's just hilarious. Like, we see them all, like, holding their penises and standing like back to back and next to each other. And then it's hilarious too, because while it's happening, one of the girls shouts for Brand, and Brand just like leans back and he's like, "Hey Mikey, go see what she's yelling about, for me, will ya?" And like just like implying like, "Oh, I'm too busy here pissing. I can't go check on this, but you're probably done pissing, so please go see what's up."
Oh my god, I'm too busy here with my one-eyed Willie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's not what I was gonna say.
Oh, that was
It's
my
not the
favorite
group
scene in
missing
the whole
scene.
movie.
No, not really a favorite scene. Although I just like when they find the pirate ship for the first time, I'd say.
Yeah.
No, I really enjoyed the bad guys.
Oh,
I thought they were great, especially
yeah, they're
Ma.
fun. Yeah. She's great.
She was scared me.
Yeah.
That's for sure. As a kid,
and you haven't seen Throw Mama from the Train, have you?
no.
Oh, that's she's
Is she Mama?
yeah, she is most definitely Mama. It's this amazing performance. I think she actually won an Oscar for it.
Oh wow.
It was like it's just she's just like unhinged in that movie. What's her name? Anne Ramsey. But yeah, I was just like thrilled to see her in the Goonies again because I just think she's so fun and such an interesting screen presence. Like she has this really unique face that's completely compelling.
Oh yeah, it's expressive. It looks mean.
Yeah.
It's great.
Like you're just like, whoa, like who is this? Like I gotta watch her.
Yep. Screaming at her sons.
Yeah.
It's great. And here's the thing, because I shouldn't like it,
What, sloth?
but I really did. I really did, and I know I shouldn't,
I know.
but I loved him.
Yeah, that's the thing about this movie and why I think it, people still lovingly talk about Sloth is like the movie makes him really sympathetic in a way and the Goonies all like embrace him.
Yeah.
So I think in that way it's like
In a way, it's okay.
it just makes you feel like, oh, I guess the movie isn't being like mean-spirited about this. But at the end of the day, it's literally just like this is just a guy with a disability that's it.
Yeah. That's it.
And the movie like makes him this like cartoon character. Like the prosthetics are insane.
Oh, absolutely insane. So that was the character I was talking about when I said there was an ogre
Yeah.
dressed as a pirate. And now,
Yeah.
hey, you guys. Ooh.
Yeah. I don't know. But then I think, yeah, the reason why the movie gets away with it is because, like, it ends with Chunk and him telling each other they love each other, like, over and over. Yeah, it's like 3 times at the end of the movie.
I know. Ugh. And they all like stick up for him at the end.
Yeah.
He's not the bad guy. They're screaming at the top of their lungs.
Yep. This is exactly just the type of movie I loved as a kid. Adventure.
Yeah, I wish I had seen it, man.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is...
I feel like I'm missing out because of it.
Yeah. Maybe you're going to have to show it to your kids.
Oh, if I show them as kids,
Yeah.
they're going to be like, why does it look so old?
Yeah. They'll be like, I just want to watch cartoons.
Oh my God, where the hell is Coco Melon?
I don't know what that is.
That's what kids want. You don't know what Coco Melon is, Greg?
No.
You need kids. You don't.
No, I do not. Kids suck. Well, you said you really liked the scene where they find the ship for the first time.
Yeah, I love when they do the water slide down into the lagoon, and it's like beautiful water, and they're giant. I love pirate ships. That's
Right.
that's the thing about me is I love pirate ships and pirate themed things, and it looked beautiful.
I agree, and they built the whole thing. It was real. That ship
That's
was
insane.
100% practical, and they had like 900 gallons of water there. But yeah, they built the whole ship, and then when they wrapped production, they like offered it to a bunch of other people to be like, hey, you want this for anything at all? Like any other production or anything? And nobody wanted it. So they just
I would
scrapped it.
have made like 10 pirate movies.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yep.
No, the gold they find on it is great. All the skeletons and whatnot.
Yeah.
The whole theme is great.
I mean, I will say as a kid, that scene was always the standout for me. Like if you asked me what happens in the Goonies, that is like the scene that would stand out in my mind is just them
The pirate
finding
ship?
the ship. Yeah.
Yeah.
because it's this like triumphant, glorious moment where like it finally happens. And especially because like for a while in this movie, you're not even totally sure if it's real.
Right.
And like, you know, as an adult watching it, you're like, well, why would this kid's movie not have a payoff in it? But as a kid, when you're watching it, you're just like, oh, is there treasure or is it all a lie? And then it's like, no, it's 100% real, and all the treasure's there, and the pirate ship is there, One-Eyed Willie's there. It's all
That's like
real.
a dream for a child, like finding a treasure map and it being real. Oh.
I
That's
agree.
a dream for an adult, but we just lost all hope.
Yeah. Well, I actually was thinking about this today. I think part of why I think movies like this would capture the imagination of kids more than adults, and you know, you saying that you think you would respond to this more as a kid, is that I think kids are still figuring out how the world works. And so when you're as a child, you don't really understand the limits of what is possible or not. So magic or hidden treasure or like something that no one else has discovered in hundreds of years, like that seems a lot more probable when you're a kid. You're like, well,
Yeah.
you know, maybe someone just hasn't figured it out, or like you don't know enough about the world to just like once you get to be an adult, you just know so much more, and you can kind of be like, yeah, I mean, there's no way that I'm gonna just like follow a treasure map and find a pirate ship that's 400 years old that no one found, like under my small town or whatever.
I don't know. That sounds like a fun time.
It sounds fun, but do you think that's gonna happen in your town?
No, it's not going to be there. There's no hope. That's what I told you. It's all crushed at this point.
Yeah, this is what I mean. It's just like as an adult, you just have different expectations of the world. But kids, you know, they only have a couple years of experience in the world. So they don't really fully understand, you know, like what the boundaries are. You know, so movies like this feel really exciting because there's part of you that thinks like in the back of your mind, like maybe something like this could happen to me.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe Santa Claus will bring me a gift this year.
No, you always get Cole.
Damn it. Imagine if I still believed in. Is this a spoiler? Should we do a spoiler?
Yeah,
alert?
spoilers, guys. Spoilers for Christmas. If you don't want any spoilers, skip ahead 60 seconds.
Yeah. Imagine if I still believe Santa Claus was real, but I've only been getting coal my entire life.
You were just like, what have I done wrong to Santa?
I'm just like beaten down to nothing.
You're like,
This is
fine.
this is a movie idea.
Santa thinks I'm naughty. I'll be naughty. I won't even try anymore.
Oh God, I'm actually really interested in what movies this movie influenced, because there's a lot of movies I really like that are like this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine they all take from this movie, like The Sandlot or something, or Hook.
Yeah.
Well, Hook is, Peter Pan, but
Yeah.
I feel like those type of kid movies may have taken from this. Warriors of Virtue.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think this movie is also, you know, this wasn't like necessarily the first movie about a group of boys having an adventure together. But
Was this before or after Stand By Me?
I believe this was after.
Was okay.
I'm not total. I want to say Stand By Me was 81. 86. Okay, this was actually the year before Stand By Me then.
Oh.
So this was just before. Which is interesting because Stand By Me is like the adult version of the Goonies.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's like the Goonies for adults who have been beaten down and they know that there's nothing out there.
Just dead bodies.
Yeah. Just like the
Oh,
relationships you have with your friends, and that's all that really matters. Stand By Me, great movie.
That's true. It is a great movie. Seen it,
Yeah,
surprisingly.
great.
Sandlot, also a great movie. Best sports movie.
Is it? I actually remember not loving Sandlot.
What?
Yeah,
That's crazy to me.
I don't know. I might like it more
Loved
now.
it. Big monster dog over the fence. All those contraptions. Their fort.
I don't. All I remember is the dog. Honestly.
That's crazy. Amelia, you like Sandlot? Forget it. Well, only I like Sandlot.
Baseball's so
She goes,
boring.
No. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really about baseball at all. It was about the dog and the friends.
What? The dog is a small part of that movie.
The baseball didn't matter in that movie.
No,
It was about him being accepted into the group.
is it?
He's a new kid in town.
My
And
memory,
his parents' story.
my memory of that movie is just that they like have to deal with the dog because they hit a ball into the yard, and then that's over within like 20 minutes, and then they just play baseball the rest of the movie.
I don't think they do. I thought it was only in the beginning they like skirmish, and then everything becomes about that whole mystery and the story about the guy who lives in the house with the dog.
Yeah. There's a mystery. I don't know.
If it was about baseball, I tell you right now, there's no way I would have liked it as much.
yeah.
Although I did like Mighty Ducks, so that's interesting. I don't like hockey.
Yeah. I remember liking parts of Mighty Ducks, but I remember the sports part being boring.
Is it a thing with all these type of movies back then where there's always the fat kid that everyone's making fun of?
Yeah, I will say that that's another part of this movie that's just like a huge eye roll is like Chunk's entire personality. Well, I guess not entire. He's also a pathological liar, but it's mostly just that he wants food all the time.
Yeah.
He's just always asking for food or eating.
That's
food.
interesting. I didn't realize I related so much with Chunk. With both of those things.
Yeah, maybe that's why you disliked him, because you saw so much of yourself in him.
Wow. It's like Han Solo.
Right, yeah, exactly.
I'm Chunk.
You are Chunk. You gonna do the truffle shuffle?
Yeah, you want me to do it?
Yeah.
No.
No truffle shuffle?
No.
Wow.
It's too real right now.
Yeah.
I'll feel real bad about myself after.
The truffle shuffle
boy.
is also funny because like he barely does anything. He just lifts up his shirt and makes a face and like seems like he's trying to like wiggle or do a dance or something, but he's barely moving.
So here's a story about that, because I had no idea what it was because I'd never watched the Goonies, so this makes it extra embarrassing now. I remember being in gym class, like 7th or 8th grade, and I was a little chubby at the time, and the bullies were telling me to do the truffle shuffle. Now I get the reference too.
Yeah.
So it's I feel for Chunk, man. Yeah, he had a glow up. I looked up a picture of him. Did you see him?
I did look up a picture and I was like, wow, that's crazy. He looked very different.
Looks different.
Very different. I was a chubby kid too, but I was never asked to do the truffle shuffle.
Wow. Not even now?
No.
Because I just was.
I know. Yeah.
Just a moment ago.
It's true. Yeah, I asked you to because you said that you were Chunk.
Yeah.
In my defense, you drew the comparison first.
Well, you rounded it out.
Yeah.
So
I was yes-anding.
let's. Yes, Andy.
Do you want me to do the truffle shuffle?
No, you're not going to do it.
You don't think?
And if you do, I'm going to put it on YouTube.
Could be a good truffle shuffle.
Is that allowed on YouTube?
I don't know. Might be. You'll have to like blur out my boobies.
Lots of subscriptions.
Yeah.
Tag Harry Bear Truffle Shuffle.
Yeah. So
Censored.
What would you rate this movie, Mike?
I have 2 ratings for this movie. One,
Wow.
Kid Mike, what Kid Mike would have rated it, and one, what current Mike's going to rate it.
Yeah.
Kid Mike would have rated this thing 9 or 10. Tell you what.
Absolutely. Yeah, but Kid Mike would have given this a 10.
Adult Mike, still kind of a kid in some sense.
Yeah.
Physically and mentally. I I would say I'm going to give it a 7, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that checks out.
I think it was solid. I think it had some flaws. I would have loved it as a kid. It was fun to watch for the first time.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
Thanks for letting me watch the Goonies.
My pleasure.
You finally let me. I was not able to my entire life.
I was
because
blocking
I didn't
you.
get permission. Yeah. What about you? You rewatched it.
I did rewatch it. I had a lot of fun rewatching this movie. As we talked about, the child performances are just like pitched way too high, and it's kind of grating at times. But overall, like this movie is just a blast. It has that Indiana Jones kind of charm. It's like dark but still light in a way. Like, it's just I had a blast watching it. It's just more difficult to watch as an adult. But I totally agree with you. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Wow. Yeah. double sevens.
Yeah.
Double snake eyes.
Yeah, we agreed about this one.
That's not what a snake eye is.
Yeah, snakes have 7 eyes.
7 eyes. Notoriously.
Yep.
So here's the thing, Greg. We're going to go a little different this week.
Oh, shit.
Because normally around this time, I tell you, hey, we got some trial by trivia, and I got some trivia questions.
Can't wait.
2 things happened. One, some of the fans told me that we should maybe spice it up and do something different.
And by some of the fans, and based on your eye contact right now, you're talking about your wife.
Yeah, I'm talking about my wife. My wife said, trial by trivia sucks.
Wow.
Do something different. She didn't say that. She said she likes it, but
even after the last episode where I almost won your dick covered in chocolate.
You know what? Maybe that's why she's suggesting something different. It's because you were offered my chocolate-covered dick last episode.
Yeah. Things got a little too close there.
Yeah, so she's maybe going for something a little more low stakes.
Right. Okay.
So maybe it's not a prize-based game. And maybe I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And I really am. So we might have to cut a little bit out and then come back.
Okay.
Especially since it's the first time. I'm going to call this game, just to spite you, I'm going to call it Pitch Perfect.
Oh, no. I'm going to have to
And it's not going to be about singing. Yes, you are. This is what happened, Greg. You were just given the green light and an unlimited budget, pretty much. Huge budget. Mm-hmm. But you have to make Goonies 2.
Oh, Goonies 2.
You have to make Goonies 2. You're in control. You're writing it. You're producing that beast. I want you to pitch it to me. What's it called? And what happens? You're good at guessing plots, so you can guess the plot of fictional movies, right?
Maybe. I have some questions.
Hit me.
So it has to be a sequel. Goonies 2.
Yeah, sequel. This is the sequel.
Okay. So it's not like a remake or anything.
Yeah, no remake.
Okay.
I don't want to see you put the cast of Stranger Things to the Goonies.
Okay.
They're 20.
And this is happening now in 2022, not
2022.
in the 80s.
Right.
Okay.
I'm sure most of those actors are available if you want. Goonies, all gooned up.
Josh Brolin might be pretty busy.
Oh, that's true.
My dude was Thanos.
You imagine Thanos in that red headband and sweatpants and
Goonies
shorts.
2, Brand comes back as Thanos. Okay,
wow.
Yeah, so Goonies 2, it's a Legacy sequel, so that means we have to bring the original cast back, but as the parents of the new generation of Goonies.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Twist.
Yeah. They
have daughters now who can be actual characters.
Oh, yeah, it'll be like the Ghostbusters movie that the internet hated.
Yeah. Am I allowed to give you ideas for this?
Of course, yeah, why not?
It's my game. I'm allowed
to. Yeah, so they all have daughters now who are the Goonies.
Wow.
Yeah. And they...
I hope they didn't keep the same nicknames because Mouth's daughter's gonna get a little.
No. Yeah. Actually, Mouth's daughter is mute, interestingly enough, and it's only at the end of the movie that she finally says something profound.
Are you gonna keep with the disabled thing? There's gonna be a bunch of, except everyone has a disability in this movie.
Right? Yeah, everyone is disabled except for Sloth's child.
Data can't navigate his phone.
Right?
He's too old to navigate Hulu. This is me. I'm doing me.
Yeah, that's true. You are genuinely. I've seen you. You're really
I became
bad
a dad.
Yeah. You
Can't work this thing.
Cannot use technology anymore, even though you work in IT.
Yeah.
You can't use a television.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what happens is these daughters have heard all the stories from their dads.
They're all daughters. Every one of them.
They're all daughters, yeah.
None of them are like gender fluid, maybe.
No, too woke.
You know everyone's still going to call this too woke because you cast all women.
No,
you're not going
exactly,
far enough.
yeah.
You're going this is
Everyone would hate this
producer
for
logic.
the same reasons they hated Ghostbusters. The Answer the Call is just like a bunch of misogynists would just be like, it's too woke to cast women in these roles. They have to be men.
Wow.
Even though they're children. So they hear all these stories from their parents, and they assume none of it's true. Until what?
They go find that ship that sailed off into the distance?
That's what I was thinking. I was trying to figure out a way to pull it all together. But yeah, they need to go find the ship is essentially where I was going with it. Because all the
Coast Guard didn't.
all the treasure is still on it as well.
Right.
So yeah, they embark on an adventure. Maybe the ship. Okay, here's what it is. The ship was rigged. You know how like when they blew the walls, the ship just like was ready to go. Like it was almost like it was set up to have its anchor pulled so that it could sail away. And that's because it was. And it was set to sail to a specific location.
Oh.
Yeah. And the
Where? Where's it going?
it's on an island off the Oregon coast. And
Of course it is.
yeah. Because there are a bunch of islands out there.
Which is littered with bears and wolves and mountain lions.
Yeah, then it becomes a survival movie.
Yeah.
You would love that.
Kids get killed off one by one.
No. That doesn't happen. They go into the woods and it's all like safe out there. But there's like, there's like weird like rednecks who live out there.
Oh, I was thinking there was going to be some like tribal
No,
no one knew about.
No. We're not going anywhere near that. Just like some weird like reclusive people who live on this island and have been protecting its secrets for years or something.
Oh.
Maybe a family, not the Fratellis, but another family like that.
We're talking mountain rednecks, right? Not southern rednecks.
Not southern rednecks, no.
Okay.
These
are like hermits almost. Maybe they have do they have a village, or they just like a little community, fishing huts and stuff.
I was imagining it's like a house. It's like one house, and this family lives there, and someone just takes a boat into the mainland every once in a while to get supplies and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where's the conflict?
The conflict is that they don't want the kids to be on their island discovering its secrets. So they're armed.
They never found the treasure.
No, they didn't. They don't know about the ship. They just know that One-Eyed Willie was on the island at some point setting something up. Because remember, One-Eyed Willie set it up so that his ship would sail to this island if it was ever found.
Right.
So he obviously spent time on the island.
Because he knew how to remotely navigate his ship. Didn't take an entire crew.
Yeah, exactly.
To sail those ships.
Yeah,
I'm here.
he knew
I'm
exactly.
with ya.
He knew exactly which way the wind was going to blow.
He knew that those sails weren't gonna.
Yeah, the sails would be in
disintegrate.
perfect condition 400 years later. Yeah,
Wow.
so then the kids spend some time trying to avoid the rednecks. Maybe one of them gets captured, kind of like what happened with Chunk for a while. And then they maybe become friends with
they would use all the
someone.
same stuff.
Yeah, yeah. This is what I'm saying. Like Lego sequels, you have to just do like beat by beat exactly what the original movie did, but just with different
Yeah, yeah.
specifics.
All right.
Yeah.
So keep going.
Keep going.
Oh, you're done?
So
Where's Sloth? What's Sloth's part in this?
So then, so they find it's not Sloth, but it's someone in that family who, let's say that's the non-binary person.
The non-binary person is chained up in the basement, and they have to let them out. This is in a sympathetic way.
Yeah. And the kids all love the new Sloth. So then they keep exploring the island. Eventually they find the ship. But then they decide after all the conflict with this redneck family on the island, it's really not worth all the conflict that this stuff has caused, and that ultimately the adventure was what really mattered and what brought them together as friends. So they sink the ship and let all their treasure sink to the bottom of the ocean.
Wow.
Yeah.
Leaving room for Goonies 3 to go down in the water.
Yeah, it'll be underwater. It'll be like James Cameron will spend like 10 years underwater studying for it.
Man. Oh, so that's something. That's a movie, Greg. I feel like I just got 2 movies in one. So did our audience.
Yeah, I think the first one is much better.
Yeah,
But
that's usually the case.
honestly, I feel like what I just pitched, you clean it up a little, you make that movie, it would still make so much money.
Oh, absolutely. So, let's talk next time.
Yeah?
Next time,
Yeah,
I'm making you watch a movie.
Yeah, you got to pick something for me to watch for the first time.
I did. What's the last movie I made you watch?
Mallrats.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Wow. I was thinking it was Batman for some reason, but time is passing.
It was
We made a lot of
Mallrats.
episodes. And the next episode we're going to do another one that I just want to watch.
Yeah?
Because you tipped your hand a little bit. And you told me that you're going to do the same. Oh, don't tell them. We're being a little selfish with the...
Chunk!
You know Chunk ain't going to shush. I'm just screaming at the top of my lungs.
Yeah.
We're going to do a movie that I really love. I don't know if I want to call it my guilty pleasure because I actually think it's kind of good.
Okay.
In that movie's Troy. We're gonna watch Troy with Brad Pitt.
It's a spin-off from the Goonies about the character Troy.
It is not about the character from the Goonies.
Oh, okay.
It is about Helen of Troy.
Oh.
The face that launched 1,000 ships. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, something like that.
The classic Trojan horse story.
Sounds boring.
Get your Greek on, boy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Yep. I'm sure.
I'm sure you will either hate it or be like, "Oh, that wasn't so bad."
But I won't love it. Great.
Well, I mean, you've never been into those types of movies.
Yeah, we'll see.
It might be for men that are a little more grizzled. Is the word I'm going to use.
Grizzled.
Than you.
Like you.
Like me, Greg.
Yeah, grizzled old Mike.
Grizzled old man like me who's into manly things.
Yep.
Saving animals. So,
yeah, we'll talk about that.
We're going to go talk about it next time.
Next episode.
Next episode. Goonies never say die. Goonies, you say it.
Goonies never say die.
Goonies never say bye, Felicia.
Oh boy.
Culture Gap.